Hey there, lads and lasses. This here, of course, is Thunderhand64 coming at you live from the west coast of the United States. Here on a Wednesday, it's a little bit past noon time, and that can only mean that it's time for some Generations Minecraft server Baby Zombie Rush Beta. Super bad word. Okay, Soup. Welcome on in, dude. So, the family is still in Taiwan. I am still home alone. Trying to do as much work on the house here and, you know, things on the to-do list while they're gone. But still streaming. Sleep schedule is starting to get back a little bit. Welcome on in, the mighty, the one and only Real Foolish Sage, fellow buffoon. Sage, how are you today? You all can see the auto shout out up there for the Real Foolish Sage, fellow buffoon. Please go check him out when next he is streaming. You will not be disappointed. Soup, chores. Yeah, I kind of like chores, but this whole corporate life thing is exhausting. Dude, good luck with that. Do what you need to do. Set yourself up for that retirement, my friend. Luckily, I don't need to wear pants tomorrow. Whew, tough visual. All right, let's switch over the cam. And here we are in the Baby Zombie Rush beta world. We should be updated to, yeah, there we are, up there to 1.21.6. Mods still haven't been loaded onto the server yet. Resource packs, data packs, stuff like that. Yeah, I'll get around to that soon. I'd rather get in here and do some building in our largely, well, right now, pure vanilla mode. Before I get too much into things, I would like to wish Kachi a happy yet belated birthday. Kachi turned 14 years old 2 days ago. Kind of like 3 days ago because he was in Taiwan and we're 15 hours ahead. Kachi doing incredible stuff with, learning guitar and bass. So what often happens is when Kachi goes to Taiwan, the whole family goes to Taiwan. I'll only go there for about 2 weeks and then I'll come right back. And the rest of the family will stay there for a month, sometimes more. And I come back early so I can work on the house and the property and do things like that that I need to do while the family's gone. There's a lot of things I need to do here. I can't do them while the family's here because they need to use those things. And so I'll come back. But my point is, Kachi's often stuck there for like a month. And he loves to go there. He loves to see his cousins and his grandmother and stuff. He loves doing that. But he spends a lot of time just hanging out. And so this time around, I set him up with a guitar there, and my bass is there. I have a bass there in Taiwan that I bought and stuff. And so I figure while he's stuck there, he can teach himself guitar and everything. And he's been doing that and making incredible progress. Yes, Soup. Cool. And of course, Sage. 20 streamers living there. Absolutely not. Never, not while I'm here. It is not a content house. A younger Thunderhand, maybe. Cool. Yeah, and so I do those things while the family's gone. I work on the cars, for example, whatever maintenance the cars need. I do things in the house. Like I had to swap out, I had to rebuild the lawn sprinkler manifold plumbing. I had to rebuild that. And I can't do that while the family's here because periodically I have to shut off water to the house, to the mains, to change this, install that. And I can't do that while they're here. They need the water, so. All right, let's do some Baby Zombie Rush. So I usually start the stream, I do a quick recap. Here's our progress board here, right? And usually I'll go through each one of these, but I think I'm just going to go on the last one from now because we're starting to get up there with features. And believe me, there's going to be way more features in this. There are going to be way more features here. So the last one we were working on was the secret tunnel, right? Suspicious Stu's secret tunnel. So let's go review that. There was a feature in there that I needed to install off camera that I never wound up doing. So we'll do that today. Where is the entrance to Suspicious Stu's? It's around here somewhere. It should be right here. Yes, so the player is fleeing the baby zombies, bloodthirsty baby zombies through the maze. They come to this particular dead end. Maybe they take a chance. They press the button. The floor should open up beneath them. And they plunge into this maze. They can't get back out. right? This maze, these tunnels, this tunnel under the maze is what I mean to say, right? And so the lighting is supposed to be very dim down here. Oh, but there's some feature up here. What is this? Suspicious stews. Suspicious stews. Right? And so what I want to have happen here, hello, suspicious stew, is the player has a chance to get in here and try their luck with some suspicious stew. But what I want to have happen here is I don't want these barrels here. What I would like instead is one barrel or one chest here. And when the player opens the chest, one of the suspicious stews will randomly appear into the chest. Kill suspicious stew. Do not kill suspicious stew. Although sometimes he probably deserves that. But Suspicious Stew is a character from the Generations Survival 5, Generations 5 survival world lore. And so annoying. How about we kill not so suspicious stew? I'm not going to promise that suspicious stew will never be killed. Super evil brother. Maybe. Suspicious stew himself isn't necessarily good or bad, or he's more benign, right? But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to put in a randomizer that will randomly spit out a suspicious stew, right? And so, and it will only make one. You'll only have a one shot. So that might be a little bit tricky. But, and of course, suspicious stews will give you some sort of effect. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, sometimes they're just weird, right? And so that's how I would like that to proceed. And then the player goes back out into the maze. They proceed through the maze. Here we go. Right here. They get launched out of the maze. I think I needed to set the timing of this and make the timing of this a little bit more brief now, so the player can't jump back down into the hole. But we did that, and you can see where the maze now closes itself up. There's no indication that there was ever anything here, so the player proceeds through the maze, and if they ever come back upon this spot, there's no indication that this was here, right? So that's important. And then they're on their merry way. So that's the idea behind that feature. And installing this whole secret tunnel thing and everything took way longer than I thought. I never ever expected it to take this much time, but here we are. Okay, so let's work on this, shall we? And we'll build one outside of here first, and then we'll install it. So I've never built one of these before, and I find that surprising, actually. Not so much in the survival world or on Buffooncraft, but in the Baby Zombie Rush Alpha in the test world, I didn't build a randomizer. And it seems like something that's so obvious. Like, why would I not do that? Why only think of that now? It's kind of strange. But anyways, let's proceed. Do this. Let me make some adjustments here. We'll see if we can slap one of these together. I'm thinking dispenser dropper, since we're using a chest. Probably a dispenser, right? And I'm thinking something like this. And this will have the initial stew in there. Let me see. We could put a chest maybe on top because, please, hands. I would like to maybe hide this under the floor or something like that, right? And have this viewable from above. That's the idea there. So if I have something like this, and maybe I have... and I put something in here like this. I think if we had some sort of baton like this. Oh, it blew it right out of the chest. Right up through it and right on out. Why didn't it go into the chest? It's kind of weird. I'm thinking it should go into the chest. Like, we shouldn't need a hopper. We shouldn't need a hopper for this. Dispenser should put this directly into the chest without a hopper. You know, I wonder if we just need something like in between. No? I thought a dispenser would put something directly into a chest. Yeah, that was dumb. Maybe I'm thinking of... Oh, you know what? Oh, you know what? Let's try this. I don't know. Let's see if I can scare this up and have a look. I thought dispensers could dispense something directly into a chest. but maybe not. Maybe not. Let me think of how I want to go about this. Let me think. This would activate. That would come down to there. Let's do something like... Nope. You know, I wonder. But I don't think I'm going to have enough power to do this. I don't know if this will work like this or not. Where did it go? Oh, it went into here, huh? Okay, so it bypassed the... It bypassed the chest altogether. All right. See, what I'm thinking is... I'm thinking the chest will send a redstone signal, right? Because it's a trap chest. What are we making? Okay, so we're making a randomized dispenser of sorts. So when the player opens this, one of the varieties of suspicious stews, and only one, will appear into the chest. Right? So... And I haven't built one of these before. I guess I could just call up a tutorial, but I'd like to try to figure this out. So let's take a comparator. Oh well, if it's a trap chest, will it put out a redstone signal? I think it will. So repeater. Let's see if it puts out a redstone signal when we open it. Yes, it does. A dropper would randomize among its content, but will a dispenser? I'd assume. Yeah, I think a dispenser works the same way. The only reason why I'm thinking not a dropper is because I think in order to get the item into the chest, a dispenser needs to dispense it into the chest. But I'm finding that's not happening. So if we do need a hopper, the hopper is the only way to get it into the chest. I thought, a dispenser could, a dispenser right onto a chest would dispense something into the chest. Right. I mean, these things, I remember back, I don't know how many years ago. It has been since I built one of these. But I remember you could build a really simple one with just a couple of dispensers like this. You could do something like that. So this one feeds up into this one. This one feeds into the trap chest like that. And then this goes here. And then you put you like load that up, for example. And then you do that. But it doesn't, right now the dispenser is just pushing this right past the chest and out into the open. Right? Where before it would put this into here. It used to work something like this. But I don't know, maybe the game mechanics have changed since then. All right, Sage. But yeah, so I figure, I don't know. I'm probably going to build a system that's way too complicated. But let's see. I'm thinking we could do something like that. And I'm thinking we could do something like that. But I don't know. You know, I'm thinking an observer would just be better here. An observer with a regular chest. Does the observer put out a signal when the chest opens? I don't think it does. If I just have a normal chest. Yeah, I might need something like that eventually. I'm still going to go with a trap chest, though. Yeah, it's not exactly compact, is it? Hold on. If we soft power this, will it? Yeah, okay, good. All right, this saves me a little bit of room down below because I can hide this with another block like that in the floor like this, right? Okay, a dropper will just put it in a chest. All right, let's try that. So, drop. Oh, there it is. Very well done, Sage. Thank you. Oh, if you open it multiple times without taking it, though. All right, so that means where do we load this? Okay, it has to be loaded in the dispenser below. No? Oh, now it's not working. Why not? We just had it working. I think I put it in the dropper, right? There it goes. Okay, so if it's loaded into the dropper, it works. So maybe 2 droppers instead of dispensers? All right, let's try this. The dropper is down below. Okay, that doesn't work. Okay, that brings it up to that level, and then this level brings it into here. I mean, I could do something like this, where I just load up this with different suspicious stews. But there's like, I think there are... Right. So what I'm thinking of is something like this, because there are either a barrel or a chest. We should only need one, right? This, of course, this will probably be hidden behind a wall or something like that, right? Oh, the other thing is, I think we can feed this. Can we feed this from below? I think we can. That's a dropper, right? Okay, we can feed it from below, so that will work. So I'm thinking, can we pull something, because this only has 9 slots, and I think there are over 9 kinds of suspicious stews. Right, and so I'm thinking, can we hide something? But thanks for that, Sage. See, that's why we have back seating allowed. You know, I may have been able to figure that out eventually, but it's just faster to have people help, right? Yeah, so we might be able to feed it in from the back or the side or something like this, and this will probably be hidden. Right, and I think a barrel will also work. So what I'm thinking initially is this trap chest will send out 2 signals. One will unlock this hopper to bring an item down into here and also activate this and push this up. So there might be a delay. Now, I'm sure I'm overcomplicating this, but because I'm thinking I mean, this is the old style. The old style I thought used dispensers though, but I guess dropper makes sense. All right, so when this sends power in, it's activating this to drop items into this chest. Let's be good with our English here. Drop items into this chest. I'm thinking it's also temporarily locking this hopper. So let's right, so if there's already an item in there, if there's already an item in the trap chest, no, it doesn't do that. Okay, all right, so we're good there. It looks like it moves the next item up. each time. So let's put different items in here so we can track them. And we'll prime an item in here. Let's put different items in here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll put these different items in here. That way we can track them all as they move through the system. Right. And I'm also thinking we prime an item up in here. All right, so that takes that out. And see, the next item is in place now. And it should have just randomly pulled that from here, right? Now when I do this, the next item should be loaded. Yeah, there we go. Right. There it is. Give it a moment to get up there. Oh yeah, that's right. Don't take it out of the dropper. Take it out of the chest. There we go. Okay, so that could kind of work. But this isn't exactly what we need. All right? What we need is we need all of the kinds of stews. We need the player to be able to be dropped one into the chest randomly, and then we need that system to lock so they can't take any more. So they get one shot. So that's what has to happen. So I'm not now. So this is something that's a little bit different. I mean, this is kind of simple, but this allows the player. First of all, we have to prime it with something which isn't random, and then second, the player can continue to draw stews from this, which I don't want to have happen. Right? I want them to be able. I want them to activate it somehow. A stew has been dropped into the chest, and then I want the chest to be blocked off. So I kind of know those mechanisms. So I think at the very least we're going to need something like this. Also, one thing I need to check. But Sage came through with the dropper into the chest. That was critical. Camera adjustment, there we go. Okay, let me see. What did I want to do? In Minecraft, there are 9 different types of suspicious stew. Well, that's handy. Each resulting in a unique effect based on the flower used in each crafting. The flowers are allium, azure, bluet, blue orchid, dandelion, cauliflower, lily of the valley, ox-eyed daisy, poppy, and wither rose. That's 10, though. Allium, azure, bluet, blue orchid, dandelion, cornflower, lily, ox-eyed daisy, poppy, and wither rose. Okay, I counted blue orchid as two different things. I thought there was more than 9. Because if they're a 9, that is going to be super handy. Because there's 9 slots in the dropper, right? And it will pull from those 9 slots randomly. Now I'm thinking what should be a simple randomizer is going to wind up being a huge machine. I think by the time I'm done, it's going to look like that. No. It should be fine. It should be fine. But this is cool because I've never built one of these before. Again, I could just use the tutorial, but, this is Baby Zombie Rush. And the idea behind this is, we learn Redstone. We figure it out. There we go. So I can't decide whether I want to feed up from the bottom or the side, but that will depend on, how Suspicious Stew's shop is orientated. So I'm thinking we're going to need all right, we should build this in the air as well. Let's get this up maybe that high. That will give us plenty of room underneath in order to place blocks. There, now we have room to build. Really, I should clean this up and take this stuff out. But let's just start building here. And the thing is, I don't think we can stack Suspicious Stews. So this should be primed ahead of time with the 9 kinds of stews. So we're going to need to select those stews. But for now, let's just use 9 different items, like pieces of wool. How's that? So we'll do 9 different colors of wool. And these will represent the 9 different kinds of Suspicious Stews. Like that. And we'll put some of these on the side. I think we're going to be selecting these constantly. So we'll put some of these off to the side. So it's quick selection. It'll move things along while we're building. Let's go make a little tower of these, like maybe right here. Like this. Then we'll purge our inventory. Bye-bye. Like that. That way when I need this, I can just go select it like that. See, it's in my... Right. Okay, in my testing, I built a pointless machine whose only function is demonstrating that droppers are random in their output. Oh, but those are the best kind. I want to look at that afterwards, Sage. And welcome on in, Boa Cars. Bo, how are you doing today? You should all be able to see the auto shout out up there for Boa Cars. Please go check him out. Incredible Minecrafter in his own right. Especially the modded Minecraft. He's really slick at that. And let me see, what do you use? It's not World Edit. I think you use Axiom, right? Oh, that's one of the main ones you do. But you also make mods and stuff like that yourself, so. I basically put a hopper clock next to two droppers facing each other. 9 randoms in each one. It dispenses a random into the other before getting back. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see how that would work. Doing good. Had a brain break through on measuring circumference of an oval in Minecraft. Oh! Did you use the algebra circumference formula, or did you use the calculus one with the line integral for that? Sparkle of World Edit and a dash of World Painter. Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, usually when I'm in your stream, I see you using the using Axiom. Yeah, circumference of a circle, easy. Circumference of an ellipse, a little bit weirder. I'm curious, and this is not critical when I say this. Some people like weaponize these kind of questions, but why are you, or for what application in Minecraft do you need the circumference of an ellipse? Because I'm curious, right? You got to be doing something like really cool with that. I tried, but it's easier than formula. Just copy minimal oval and paste it. Oh, the minor axis, you mean? Tells you how many blocks. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I guess that's more the geometric construction of that, right? Which would probably make more sense. Minor axis, major axis, right? And then plot between the two of them along the perimeter, right? Wall patterns easier instead of trial and error patterns. Yeah. That's cool. I'd like to see that. Let's see here. So randomizer, huh? Into this. We have it preloaded with 9 different kinds of blocks. I'm thinking hopper like this. And then we may have to load this, like we may have to make a hopper stack going up, with the observers, that kind of thing. But for now, let's just get this into here like this. I think I'm going to put it in the back. Like this. And then I'm wondering... if I'm going to need to do something like this. Where I have... And I'm just moving this back a little bit. Like this. And then I'm wondering if I'm just going to need a barrel, for example. And then each barrel will have each kind of stew in it. Like this. And then I'm thinking, when I open this, it will draw one out of here into the chest. And then this will be replenished by one of these. Yeah, if you're building a really huge ellipse, like there's a website called Plots, and you can plug in like your it'll do circles for you, it'll do ellipses, and it uses JavaScript and HTML to do that, right? But it has a limit, right? So, and I don't know how big the limit on Plots is, but it has a limit. So if you want something bigger than that, then yeah, you have to make it, right? Axiom, you just type in the size. Yeah, okay. Because usually I'll just go onto the Plots webpage and I'll just use their circle or ellipse generator, and it'll visually show you the pattern. But like I said, it does have a size limit. You know, if you want maybe your major or minor axis is going to be in the thousands, then yeah, it's going to exceed the limit of Plots. I think the limit is 10K radius in Plots or in Axiom. Because Plots, no, Axiom, yeah, I thought so, because Plots is way less than that. Plots may still be in the hundreds. So I'm thinking, instead of having 9 of these loaded, I'm thinking one of these 9. Well, I'm not really sure, because, you know, the problem is the stews don't stack. Or wait, let's confirm that, because similar or the same stews may stack. Right? So let's do that. Let's craft. Let's get a crafting table. Let's get a crafting table. Now, we won't have to do this because when we're ready to load this up. Yeah, you know what? I don't think we're going to have to do this. Let's make this simple. Let's try to do this the simple way from the beginning, which is very un-Thunderhand-like. And we have, let me see, we have the different kinds. This is temporary. It just makes selecting them faster, right? Okay, so here are the different kinds of flowers we're going to need. We're going to need, let me see, allium. Thunder with the typing. Please, hands. There we go. We're going to need one of these. And it's cool because each one of these will fill up one slot in our hotbar. So what's the other one I'm going to need? Azure. And you should see in Suspicious Stew's shop, he has each one of these growing. Blue orchid. Right there. Dandelion. corn flour. All right. Let me see. What else do we have? Lily of the Valley. And then the Oxeye Daisy. And then Poppy. And then last but not least, the Wither Rose. There it is. All right, so if I come along here now and do this, then I can select these as I need to use them, right? Just makes building a little quicker. Like that. You'll see when I purge the inventory, now if I need one of these, I can just do this, right? Good. Okay, and then the stuff for the stews. So let's get these ingredients so we can just select those two. So we're going to need a bowl and the 2 types of mushrooms, right? And we'll just put those right here. So let's grab some more item frames. Here's the center. 1, 2, 3, like this. Get a bowl like that. So again, we can just, now we can select that mushroom, the 2 different types, here and here, like this. Or, Thunder, please. I think it's just this with the flour, is it not? No. You have to actually craft it separately. Wow, really? Minecraft? Dear Jeb. I'm starting work on this season's dome build. Always been symmetrical before. Not sure about this one. Oh, so you're going to do like a semi-ellipsoid, right? Like a dome that's elliptical shape at the base and curves up. Is that what you're thinking? Yeah, the spherical domes look cool, right? But it's cool to try something else different, right? Because you see a lot of the spherical domes. You see a lot of them because they're cool, right? But doing something a little different with an elliptical one. Okay, so yeah, and yeah. Okay, cool. And you know what we can do for this as well? That way we won't have to keep remaking them. And I know you're possibly thinking, well, why not just go right to that step? These are not, I don't think you can indicate. Let's take a look at targeted block. Yeah, you can't just look at it and see what it is. Um, and you can't tell by what's in your hand. I don't think that you can. So this way we can just select each one and we know which one we're selecting, right? Because I don't think there's any way to ID these. And I'm also wondering, I'm trying, people. I'm trying to be more efficient. Of course, when I'm looking at the VOD afterwards, that's when I'm going to be beat myself up and saying, hey, you know, I should have done this way. I should have done it that way. These should correspond, right? There we go. Now, I'm wondering, do these items stack if they're the same? No, they don't. All right, so hence, that's one of the problems, right? So I'm going to need a supply of these. To be fed into here constantly. So opening the chest will put one of the stews into here, but then I need that stew to be replaced, right? Yeah, sounds about right. And not only that, but I think it needs to know which stew has been taken and replace it with that stew. Ooh, that's gonna be hard to do. So this machine is actually gonna wind up being pretty big, I think. Now see, we can't just have this load up, right? With the 9 different kinds of stews, and then from this it draws out one, because the game has no idea to know which one of these it chooses, right? And so it can't know which one to replace. It'll pick from these randomly, but it doesn't know, like, we chose. And let's just use colors of wool from here on out, right? It doesn't know that it chose the light blue wool, for example. And so it doesn't know to draw from the light blue wool reserve to replace it. So I don't think we're going to be able to do something like that. Yeah, I don't think it's going to know to do that. So I think the dropper at this point is not a good thing. But if I want to feed it upwards, then yeah, a dropper item transporter is going to be what's required, right? It's just using the dropper as the randomizer itself probably isn't going to be a... Yeah, this is actually going to be kind of tricky. This is actually going to be a pretty big unit to build, I think. Again, I could just look up a tutorial and just copy it just for the sake of speed, but I'd really rather figure out how it works. So I'm thinking we have a barrel that has each kind in it, right? So we're going to need to start with that. But how are we going to ID which one has been taken? By not using the dropper as the randomizer, that's how. All right, so let's start out with something like this over here, I'm thinking. And again, we're going to need some room down below, so... And for now, as I mentioned earlier, we're just going to use different pieces of colored wool for now. And we'll just fill each one of these up just to save some time. Now, I could use a command block for this. And if things just get too bogged down, then I'll probably do that. But I'd like to avoid that if I could. I use command blocks only when there's no other way to really do that in survival. So... Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to have something that... Oh, yeah, I could have just done that, right? That's why I put that there. When we open the chest, that's when it's going to trigger it. When we open the chest and trigger it... It's got to draw one from each one of these in a random kind of way. So I'm thinking a two-stage kind of thing. Hello, Goldstick. Welcome on in. So let's think about this for a moment. I open this, it sends a signal. And sometimes it's easier to think of these things backwards. Like I open this, it sends a signal, so one of the random pieces needs to come in. Now, where is that coming from? Ultimately, it has to come from one of these once, right? How's it going? I am doing excellent. How about yourself? In fact, we are past the halfway point in the stream. And usually at this time, I will break and run 3 minutes of ads and then come back. But I'm going to hang in for about 5 more minutes before I do that, since you've just come into the stream. I'll hold off for a few more minutes and then I'll take a break. In pain, but getting there, thanks. Glow, what's going on with the pain, if you don't mind me asking? I don't think you do, since you mentioned it. Okay, so let me see. Redstone signal will pull one of these out. Redstone signal will pull one of these out. And where have I seen that kind of thing happening before? Usually when we have some sort of clock and a dispenser. In this case, I'm thinking again, it's going to be a dropper. So I'm thinking of 2 stages. I'm thinking each one of these will load into a dropper, and then the dropper will load one into the chest. I think that's the best way to think about it, because the dropper will then drop out one of those 9 slots at random. So we just use the dropper, but we use it indirectly. Did something to my shoulder. Ugh. Glow, I don't know how old you are, but us older folks, you know, we have shoulder problems quite often. I'm not an athlete, but, you know, athletes usually get shoulder issues, you know, especially if you play a sport like tennis or baseball where you're throwing, football if you're throwing, yeah, shoulder injuries. So I think to get this stuff out of the chest, we're probably going to need at least a hopper. We're going to need a hopper to get it out of We're going to need a hopper to get it out of here, right? And I'm wondering if I should go chest to hopper to dropper, or just dropper. Because if I do something like this, for example, and I put a hopper down here, and the hoppers, if I use hoppers, I have to lock them and unlock them and lock them again. Because otherwise all the items will fill the slots, right? Don't know what I did to it. Okay. I hope you're getting it treated though, right? You went and got it looked at, right? Let's put the locking mechanisms in place first, because otherwise these will empty out, right? So I'm thinking something just initially like this. Let's use torches. like that. And then hoppers. And this should prevent these from emptying out. And I'm thinking the center one. Now these should be locked. Good. They are. I think it's something like this. Thinking something like this. That could be facing down, but let's face it out for now. Like that. And so these should not be filling up with items. That's good. Let's get the dropper. And I'm wondering if I need a two-stage kind of thing here. But you know what's going to be cool about this? Let's do this with a line of redstone. Redstone dust. Let's see what happens here. Like this. And I think we can just send a pulse through with an observer. Right? Wrong direction. There we go. So I think once a pulse goes through here, it'll temporarily shut off these torches. It'll open this up. It'll let an item come through. But then these will come back on and lock this. That's how that should work, right? Like, oh, it could be too fast. All right, we might... Wow, it's so fast. Okay, let's put a repeater on there so we can get a delay. So we'll do something like that. Wrong direction. Bah! There we go. All right. Okay, it looks like it wasn't fast enough for this to get into here and load into there. So let's clear these out. And I'm probably thinking about this wrong. I probably need a two-stage activation. Once to load them into the hopper, and then from the hopper to get them into the dropper. I'm probably going to need a two-stage thing, but let's do this first. Was that enough? Okay, yeah, I think I'm going to need a two-stage thing. Oh, wait, we got one in there. Yeah, so one pulse will pull one item down, but then it locks so it doesn't send it along. So we actually need a double pulse kind of thing, and that's good because observers naturally do a double pulse. It happened yesterday. I need to go see a doctor. Please, please do. What is this you're building? Okay, well, if you're new to the stream, I think you are. We're building a not so mini game. Eventually, this will run in a survival kind of situation, but it's called Baby Zombie Rush, and we'll invite people onto the server, guests onto the server. The guest will be in this area at the beginning of the maze. The host, which will probably be me, very likely, will then begin the game. The maze will open up, the player will run in, and then on either side will spawn about 10 or so bloodthirsty baby zombies. The baby zombies will chase the player through the maze. As the player runs through the maze to try to escape the baby zombie, occasionally the player will run into dead ends. The maze and the speed at which they run and whatnot is such that they have a chance of juking the baby zombies and getting out. But at each dead end, there will be a button, and the player can take a chance by pressing the button, and then something happens. Either some beneficial thing will happen, or some detrimental thing will happen, right? There's also a benign kind of option too, where it may just open a new part of the maze for the player to escape, but the baby zombies can also come through. So beneficial, detrimental, it's kind of benign, right? And so we've been working on this for a long time now. But the idea behind this is not to like finish it as soon as possible to run it. The idea is to learn how to do redstone. And so I've been, taking a lot of time in building this, just so we can learn the redstone aspects of it and stuff, and also so I can get interaction with the folks in the chat, because I do have backseating allowed. So if you have some redstone knowledge, or even if you don't and you just want to suggest things to see how things work and stuff, this is this kind of stream. And I do this stream every other Wednesday. So every Wednesday I'll do a stream from my single player survival world. One will be the survival world that is a forever world kind of thing. And the following Wednesday will be this creative mode world where I'm working on this game. Not the title, Little Timmy's. Running from the Little Timmy's. Cool. Okay, cool. And so, yeah, I've been building this thing forever, right? Because I've just been learning the redstone little by little, right? And recently I moved this out of my test world and into the beta world. And so, no more test world building. I'm actually building the thing in beta, right? But I'm putting features in that I hadn't put in the test world. And so things have slowed down while I work these kinds of things out and install them. Again, I could just use a tutorial and build a randomizer here from the tutorial and then just paste that right into here. And sometimes I do that if I get too far behind, right? But most of the time I just want to work it out on the stream, which most Redstoners do not want to redstone on stream, but I don't care. I do that on stream. I'm not great with redstone. I've become okay with redstone. I'm not a redstone master by any chance, but I've improved a lot just by doing it on stream, right? And so still not there yet, but still learning. But if you want to learn redstone, this is a good stream for this. And this is a good way to do this yourself as well. Just make yourself get in here and do that. But, you've got to be like the most secure person ever, because I'm in here with redstone. I'm figuring things out. I do some really stupid things on stream in front of everyone, and then I archive my stream VODs. So those stupid things I do are up there forever. So you got to be okay with that. Somebody like me, I'm probably the most secure man you're ever going to meet. So I don't mind doing that. But some people, they can't handle that. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm quite a ways past my time for a break. So I'm going to take a break. And again, my idea behind running the breaks for the 3 minute ads is just so I can disable the pre roll for people coming into the stream so they don't have to sit through ads, right? That's part of what makes it fun. I think it makes it fun. I think it makes, but it's really the best way to learn, right? A little trauma about looking foolish makes you move things along, right? Okay, I'm going to take a quick 3 minute break to run some ads, and I will be right back. Hey there, welcome back. A little sip of my drink here. Okay, when last we left our heroes, I was thinking, so we need a double pulse, and a double pulse is usually a bad thing with with an observer. Welcome back, thanks, and welcome back yourself. This is usually a bad a bad thing with a with an observer, right? Usually you're trying to get like a T flip flop where you only have one pulse. This we actually need two. So we need a pulse to unlock the hopper to get the item in the hopper, and then we need a pulse to get the item down the hopper and into the dropper. But you know what I'm thinking? I'm wondering if we need to do, and this may sound silly, and but sometimes you got to sacrifice that. We may have to do. Well, see, I'm thinking. I don't know if this opening and closing one pulse is going to be enough to get this all the way down and into here. I'm wondering if each hopper is going to need its one access point into here. If that's the case, that's not going to be a cool thing because I'm only going to be able to get 5 of these in there at once. I'm thinking, traveling through another hopper to get into here, probably not cool. So 2 stages of hoppers, maybe? 2 stages of hoppers might do it. Yeah, I think 2 stages of hoppers. That's what we're going to need. I think. I'm not sure. But there's only one way to find out, right? Bite the bullet and do the thing that needs to be done. So I'm thinking something like I'm thinking of actually doing this here. And again, I'm sure there's better ways to do this, but I think I'm only going to chance upon those after I've done it the dumb way. All right, that might do it. This will pull only one item down here. And then it might pull it across fast enough. And for now, I think this will give me a double pulse. Okay, so the observer won't detect the trap chest opening and closing with one shot. All right. Okay. I totally get it. What if we... Well, I needed the observer for the double pulse, but maybe not. Let's see what happens. Because I think this just stays on while it's open. That's one pulse, and then shuts off. Did it load this? All right. So while this was open, these were just continuously filling, right? Which is not what I want. All right. So that direct kind of method, no. What I'm thinking of doing is not using the trap chest. Using a regular chest instead. But see, oh, wait. We might be, this is a little complicated, but trap chest might still work. And let's build it sideways out of the way first. We can do this. All we really need is, we really don't need this output. We just need the observer to read that repeater. There you go. Now, if we do something like this, and I put a piston there, like this, for example. No, not with the up and the down. Okay, it should drop off the system. Now, what I want is, we want the automatic lockout, so this can only fire it once. So a regular piston at this stage might do this for us. Because it'll drop off. It'll drop off like a redstone block to activate that. Like that. And then if they pull their item out and retrieve it, see, the block just stays there. And it just distributes its one shot. This is what I want, I think, here. All right, let me see. This is all unlocked. This is filled up, so let's empty this out. Like that. Okay, we need to empty all these out. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they're just filled up for the next time. I'm just wondering, what happens when this fires just once? Now, maybe we've already done this. And because I'm old, my short-term memory is not good. So what happens when this block just lands here? And it's just on, and it stays on once. This just stays open and fills that up. So that's not cool. Yeah, that's not what I want to have happen. Let's clear these out. But I'm almost there. If I could get the main mechanic, the primary mechanic of this to work by the end of the stream, I'm satisfied. That's asking a lot, though. Okay, what I'm thinking... Let's try this. Observer. Yeah, I don't need that just floating out there. Let's go grab an observer. Select. It's easier than typing. Like that. Cool. Piston. Maybe I can have this come out and retract. Maybe. We'll see. So what happens? Did that do the trick? Whoa, it put a lot of those in there. So what happens when these are preloaded now? That looks good. Just preload them, maybe? No, I think we're good here, right? Yes. Each one of these has one in it. Good. Now each one of these has one in it. Good. None of them are repeats. Good. I think that's it. Let's try it again. Good. These should all be empty. Good. This should have one each. Good. I like this. I like it. That's going to do it. So this kind of thing is going to work. All right, so this is one iteration of this circuit. And then, now instead of pieces of wool, what we can do now is put each kind of stew in here. Right? Now, what's going to happen is this chest is going to have to come back around to here. So we're going to need something like this. And then this will have to come around this way and come off of there. Let's get that part to work first. And now this will not be the configuration because this isn't going to fit in the space and operate the way we want it to. but I wonder if this will read off the side now. I think it will. Yes, it will. Good. So we do this. Yeah. Let's keep it away from those hoppers by, let's have one block of insulation there. Now we still need the observer set up. We could put one more line of redstone here like this because the limit is 15, right? And we could have this operate vertically, for example. We could also have it run like this. Have the sticky piston running like this, right? I'm just sticking these here because they're faster to select. Just push this over, retract it backward. Now, did I want a repeater behind this? I think I did because it's got a... Yeah, we need the one tick. Then we could do something like this. I think I could just have redstone dust under there. It would power upward right there, but I may wind up putting a target block there, but we'll see. All right, so when I open the chest, it sends the signal down. It pushes this here. It stays there until I close the chest, and then it retracts it back. This should work. Should being the... Now, how did it do its thing? It looked like it worked. But there are gaps. There should be no gaps. There should be no gaps. Okay, it looks like it's primed. This should not have anything in it. The other thing I would like is for this to only receive one of these 9. So that's something to think about too. Okay, good. All right, let's see what happens when I do this now. Nothing. Nothing. Nothing at all. Why did that not work? Okay, it's facing the right way, facing the right way, facing the right way. This is not causing this to retract, and it should. Why are we not getting any power there? It worked before, but it's not working now. This lighting up should activate that piston and push this block over. Yes. I mean, it's not like there's too much distance. Why is this not activating this piston? You're kidding me, right? Dude. Let's put a target block there. It worked before, which is more than a little weird. All right, now it works. But we didn't have an item pop into the chest. But now we did. All right, so we're almost there. We're really close. This is filled up, but for the one item that went into here. So that's a good thing. All right. I do hear somebody at the front door, but we're almost at time to end the stream anyway. I'll be right back, and then we'll wrap things up. Okay, and we're back. Sorry for that interruption. Back just in time to wrap up the stream. Ugh. All right. Usually at this point, or at some point during the stream, yeah, I've got to do some sort of pose here for my thumbnail. This might not be bad. Redstoning! Redstoning on stream, as usual. Also, and this might not be a bad idea either because lets the viewers know that we're working on the suspicious stews and stuff with a little bit of redstone in the background. Yeah, something like that. That's not bad. Now, if I linger here long enough, maybe the algorithm will pick up on this thumbnail, but usually I just do the thumbnail myself, even though I haven't been for quite some time. I've been a little lax in processing my streams. All right. Let's see if there's anyone to whom we can raid out. Let's do this. Some of our friends were streaming earlier. But they aren't now. Ugh. Okay. Well, that being the case, I think I'll forego raiding out today. I wouldn't mind normally doing a random raid out to somebody to meet somebody new for the first time. That's a kind of cool thing to do. But today I do have a lot of things I need to do around the house here, and I do have to get on with those. So I think I'm going to forego the raid today. Everybody, thank you so much for dropping by today. We did make some progress today. We learned some things and stuff. So hopefully we'll have this randomizer in place and stuff by the next Baby Zombie Rush stream. Just remember that we do this Baby Zombie Rush stream, this Generations stream, every Wednesday from noon to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Our next stream will be Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that will be on the Buffooncraft SMP server. And I don't know if we'll have any lore event stuff going on during that stream or not, but if not, we'll just be proceeding with our build for that. And then the following stream will be Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's usually Kachi time, but Kachi is still in Taiwan right now. And so we will be hijacking that stream slot and probably using that for another Generation stream. We'll probably be in the Generation 5 survival world with our happy guest. And maybe I'll have the mods and the resource packs and the data packs updated, as many of them as I can anyway, before that happens. Very well. Everybody enjoy the rest of your afternoon, your evening, your morning, wherever you happen to be. Join us again next time. Thanks again for showing up, everyone. Bye for now.